the show, Dada!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what time it is, man. It is time for another episode of Up to It, Down to It. We are out here in these streets, sunglasses on indoors because the sun always shines bright on the cool kids.
Hey, or you're a douche, one or the other. Yeah.
Man, we are at half capacity and we're going to give y'all full strength, full service out here tonight. We are nining it up out here. Big shout out real quick to Q. He's celebrating his birthday out in uh, New Orleans, I believe he is. I think that's where he's at. Is that where he's at?
Beignets, and crawfish.
Hey man, shoot, we'll take it all day, man. So that's where he's at. And big shout out to King Rich out here, man. He's got to recover real quick. As we always talk about, your health is your wealth. Health is important here, man. So get better real quick. LB, we love you, man. We're gonna hold it down.
Yes, sir.
With that said, quick intro, and let's get to this first shot of the evening. I'm waiting for it. I'm looking at it. I'm ready. So to my right, there we go. Got the mirror flip this time. To my right, the movable force, my number, my man's 50 grand, pots and pans.
It's showing me on your left. It's showing me on your left, but
we're showing you on the left. Okay, well on my left then.
I mean, listen, the only other person on the screen. How about that?
Sorry, how about that?
But what's good, everybody? Glad y'all could be here with us this evening. Just listen, we made it to Friday. So for those of y'all who fought through the week just to get to this point, we, as always, appreciate y'all being here. And, let's have ourselves a good time. This evening, we are on McFarland's Reserve. So again, I told y'all, if you checking in with us, I'm going to give y'all some comparable things that are lower than the price. And first of all, I'm a big Maker's Mark fan. Like, this is not going to make me stop drinking Maker's Mark whiskey, but this is a good second whiskey to have on hand. It pans out to be about maybe $3-4 cheaper, and this is the 1.75. But it is absolutely delicious. So McFarland's Reserve, beautiful bottle, beautiful finish on the whiskey. So yeah, that's a fantastic one. So y'all go ahead and get something so you can enjoy yourselves, and let's have ourselves a good time tonight. We lost your sound, Trey.
Damn, there we go.
Yeah.
We back. All right.
Like
Let me check that real quick. But nah, man, absolutely. We love that, man. It's a whiskey night tonight. I'm on some Crown Apple myself. We got a special guest here for us this evening. That's going to be dope. So they're going to be on that as well. With that said, before we even get to a topic, bro, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Oh, my bad. I ain't introduced myself. My bad. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm the Punisher. I'm the great and terrible Trey.
Great and terrible.
We're going to be very, very terrible tonight. That's how we doing. We getting it in.
It's a 9 night.
It's a 9 night. I will say this, though, for real. Everybody, seriously, I did mean what I said. We're going to crack a lot of jokes. We're going to talk a lot of shit, all right? But your health is your wealth, man. Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves, bro. Like, we need you for the next month, the next year, next generation, and all of that stuff, man. So take care of yourselves. That being said, I'm going to totally screw up my insides with this shot. So that's what it is, man. We getting it in tonight. There he is. All right. So real quick, man, before we get into, some of the nitty gritty, let's keep it light real quick. So We were a little bit off on our yeah, our finals pick, our Eastern Conference pick. We were a little bit off.
But I mean, it's early, and so game four is actually about to tip off in the next few minutes. Boston is up 2-1 in the series. Golden State made some adjustments to the starting lineup, so hopefully it works. The one thing I will say, and the people, of course, people gonna feel all the kinds of ways about it, but Boston, and it's not just this series, because it was the Nets series, the Bucks series. Like Boston's fans are the lowest of the low. They might be neck and neck with Utah for how the fans treat the players and the like family members of the players. So again, cheer for your team. Boo players you don't like, but leave people's families out of it. The fu chants from the stands is
That
over the
was
top. Some of
wild.
those things. So it's a little tasteless in Boston. But the Celtics, I can't take nothing away from them on the court. They've been playing some real ball. So I definitely think this game is going to be a knockdown drag out tonight. If Boston goes up 3-1, that's pretty much all she wrote, because only the 2008, 18, 16 Cleveland
16,
Cavaliers,
2016
yeah,
Cavs, yeah.
Cleveland Cavaliers have come back from a 3-1. But if it goes back 2-2, then it's the best of three, and two of those games are in San Francisco. So um, you know, definitely tonight's gonna be interesting.
So who you got then? Who you got in the series overall?
I still think the Warriors are going to get it in seven. That's been my prediction the whole time. So I mean, it would make sense. So one or two things is going to happen. They either going to have to come back from down 3-1, or they're going to tie it up tonight and take two out of those three games. But I'm holding fast to a 7 game series that the Warriors will pull out.
You know, I got to give Boston credit. Um, they have played phenomenal ball, really all season, definitely in the playoffs. Um, the way they came back, and you can maybe break this down a little bit more if you don't mind. The way they came back in game one, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I watched the third quarter. I watched the Warriors do what they do in the third quarter. They do their damage in the third quarter. They were up by, I want to say 12. I want to say 12. I could be off. They were up by a good amount, and then I look back up midway through the fourth quarter, and it's a whole different ball game. So Boston is playing lights out right now. What's your take on what happened? I saw one thing, but what's your take?
So I mean, if you're a follower of the game, one of the most famous phrases in basketball is "it's a make or miss league." And when your shot is falling, you just feel like there's nothing that won't go in. So the fourth quarter, game
Mhm.
one, literally, that's what happened. It didn't matter. Like Steph Curry played incredible defense. They would still just throw stuff up and it would drop. Al Horford, played out of his mind.
Al
Uh,
Horford made 6 3-pointers,
yeah,
man.
and those are
I
just
don't know
things.
if he's made six threes in his career.
Yeah, so those are like those are things that happened in game one that didn't happen in game two, and it was just enough of it in game three, because the Warriors actually had less turnovers in game three than the Celtics, but the Celtics shots start falling late, and that's
Mhm.
that's enough. So it's a make or miss league. Some of the shots that the Warriors had, they were great shots, wide open ones that just weren't dropping. So
Yeah.
but Klay Thompson started to come on in game three, so that's why I say, like, these could be scary hours either way.
Yeah, man. What I will say is Boston, they played lights out. Game three definitely, again in the fourth quarter. And actually, they did their thing in the third quarter. Uh, they kept Golden State at bay. I want to say they were up by two at the end of the third quarter, something like that.
Mhm.
And you kind of have to do that against the Warriors because they'll just blow you out in the third quarter. I don't know what it is about the third quarter. What do you think it is? The halftime adjustments? Like what is it about Golden State in the third quarter?
I think his legs. They're for sure one of the most in shape teams in the league. So they spend the first half running you ragged, and then they get a gust of wind and just kind of like wild out in the third. Even some of their defensive substitutions are to play some of their strongest lineups at that point in time. So it's almost like the perfect storm.
Yeah, man. It's a constant thing. So I will be interested to see who actually wins this. What I do want to go back to is something else you said, and I think Klay Thompson sounded off on this too. Boston fans. Now, if I recall correctly, Bill Russell even had something to say about Boston fans and how he was treated. This the great Bill Russell, right? Mr. Championship.
Yeah.
Um, he had something to say about how he was treated in Boston. Do you remember any of that?
Just because of course at that time, of course, black players were integrating into the league, but they still weren't, just like universally appreciated, for what they were doing. So, I mean, it was, racial slurs, death threats, all of those kinds of things. Because, of course, some of the more prominent black players then were also, very active, very vocal about the mistreatment of African Americans in America. So, just to receive, those death threats and, racial slurs and, trash thrown at the buses as they traveled and things like that. They saw a little bit of everything. We lost your sound again.
Dang, okay. I thought I hit the button again. You we good? We good? We back?
Yes, we good. We
All
good.
right, there we go. Boston fans, why are you like this? That's what I was trying to say. Boston fans, why are you like this? Utah fans, why are you like this?
It's the
Everything
accent.
short of saying basketball fans, why are you like this? I mean, because it's not all white basketball fans. In fact, obviously, apparently, it's not most white basketball fans. It's apparently in Boston and in Utah specifically. So, fans, what's up, man? Why do you think that y'all can just say whatever it is that y'all want? You got this.
Alcohol. That they get too much liquor in their system, and that liquid courage be having them wild.
Yeah, see that's what it is, man. That's got to be what
Because
it is.
they really do get progressively worse. So,
You
like,
know,
the beginnings of games are really calm, and then like right around third quarter time, is when the racism rears its ugly head.
it's when the drinks start to kick in.
Yeah, that Boston accent is just terrible though.
You can't shoot your free. I can't do a good Boston accent. I was gonna try it. I can't do a good one. I can't do a good one. I gotta find somebody that can do that. Find a clip. But yeah, man, Boston fans, listen, man, yeah, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have
That's
to be this way. We can all just get along. You could just watch the flipping game. You could just watch the flipping game. You ever thought about that? You could just watch the game, right? Have fun, cheer, generally boo. You ain't gotta be throwing, racial slurs and stuff like that. I do think it's a little bit extra, although admittedly, as a grown man, the "F you Draymond" chant did make me chuckle a bit. I have to admit that. Um, but to Klay Thompson's point, oh, we still good? Okay, yeah. To that Klay Thompson made, there's kids there. There are children in the stands, right? And they're just kind of overhearing that. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, the fans don't necessarily have to kowtow to your kids per se, right? But still, it's just a bad look overall. I think. What's your feeling?
and it be their parents. Like, so your kid
That
is
yeah, that part.
watching you, be this way towards somebody. So just, again, there's a better way to go about it.
Always a better way. Boston fans, Utah fans, get better. I want to go into something real quick because I looked at you triggered a thought with Bill Russell. So just looking here we go. And this what is it? Man, maybe later. Go away. All right, here we go. He wrote during games, people yelled hateful, indecent things that go back to Africa, baboon, coon, and nigger. Right now, again, this is the great Bill Russell. This is,
Who's
you
literally
know,
bringing your city, your state, your town championships, and you're still, you know,
championship after championship after championship. Like it wasn't like he bought him like one or two championships. Like, he won 11, I want to say. Was it 11
11, 11.
in his career? 11. His whole franchises that haven't won half of that. All right. And y'all in his own city, and I joke around about this and I often say it be your own people. But in real life, in the own city that he's fighting for, that he's playing for, he's trying to win a championship for. They were calling him stuff in the game. His teammates, fans, Boston fans, y'all gotta do better, man. We gotta do better. Sports fans in general gotta do better. I don't think that's okay.
Yeah.
But what it is in other sports news, and I know we didn't previously talk about this, but another triggered thought, man, for the most organic conversation on the internet.
Boom.
The NFL. I think we talked about this on the previous episode. The NFL, yeah, I need a shot for this one too. You're right. Let me
Listen,
go ahead and
which
take a
which
shot
part
on
you
this
want
one.
to start with? Because I'm like this close. I'm gonna put it right up in the screen. I'm like this close that to selling my fandom for a new team because uh, the Virginia governor has put the Washington Commanders stuff on hold because like our owner is under investigation for everything under the sun, from the mistreatment of female employees to like racial in like just stuff in the workplace to just being an overall idiot. Um,
What?
and then so like we're trying to build a stadium in Virginia. Now that plan is on hold because they're not trying to be involved with an owner who is incompetent and ignorant. So that part is falling to the wayside. Then today,
So
uh,
what did he do?
again, there have been multiple like reports of like sexual misconduct from upper people in the organization towards female employees that has been like reported and ignored. From like just regular female employees, ticket sales, advertisement, all the way up to the Washington Redskins cheerleaders. Just wild stuff happening with that.
Wow.
Then there are some money issues that are being discussed. Some hiring practices that haven't been like above board. So like there's just it's a bunch of stuff with the organization. And then today or yesterday, the defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio likened the January 6th insurrection to the George Floyd protests. So he got hit with $100,000 fine today, from that, and that didn't
And
even
those
come
were two
from
totally different things.
yeah, that didn't even come from the upper people. That came from the head coach. The head coach was like, "Dog, what are you like? What are you
Yeah,
doing?
that
What are you
wasn't the
saying? Like
same.
what?
That wasn't the same.
So there's just every time you turn around, it's something with the Washington football team, the Washington Commanders, the Washington
The
Saxon.
Washington Redskins. The
Yeah,
Washington Redskins. That's what they are. They're the Washington Redskins.
So my fandom is about to be on sale for like $3.99. It's about to be on clearance.
Can I honestly ask a serious question because while we're talking about the Redskins and the name change and Snyder and all that, Snyder's probably an asshole. Like don't get me wrong. I
Yes,
don't know the man personally, obviously, but he's probably an asshole.
absolutely.
Here's my question though. As a fan of the Redskins, which you are, or football team or Commanders, whichever one you guys want to use today, um, in your honest opinion, from what you saw and heard, do you believe that Native Americans
Nah,
cared?
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. I feel like it was a virtue signal. I feel like it was a virtue signal.
Again, it's everything across the board. Every time there's something else going on, something happens that's not relevant. Like, hey, stop killing black people. We're gonna change the name of Aunt Jemima Pancakes. Like, hey, stop killing black people.
And that was weird.
We gonna stop calling this baseball team the Cleveland Indians. Like, hey, like the government should like put money into, like the places that really need it instead of going to war. We're gonna name the street Black Lives Matters Plaza. Like it's always something other than like the main thing. So yeah, no, like in general, to have conversations with Native Americans, to like read up on general, you know what I'm saying? Like they were literally fighting a pipeline issue with, you know what I'm saying, like the way that their people were literally being treated on reservations after they've been
Mhm.
forced to be in like certain areas, and now their pipelines are under attack. That's a real issue to them, not what you call your sports team.
So in other words, what they care about is, their economy and their house and their neighborhoods on their reservation and stuff like that. They could care less what you call your football team.
Right. Or baseball
You
team.
know, because other people would have me believe that um, Native Americans are severely butthurt by the call, by the name Redskins, and severely butthurt by the Cleveland Indians, and uh, I don't think by the Atlanta Braves. I think they're okay with that, and I don't think by the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're okay with that. And I don't think about the Chicago Blackhawks because I think they're okay with that. But Redskins and Indians, though, they ain't like that.
Yeah. Well, and of course, because of course, the term is Native American, so that's where the Indians, does like this, and like I don't think anyone literally refers to them as red skins. Like, so, I get it, but it's
I,
not
I would, I
pressing.
would, I guess I would say, yeah, no, I feel you on that, and I guess I would suggest that the the name of the team is not calling on them specifically, right? They're not specifically saying, yeah, we're doing this in representation for, and then if we're being honest, the name Redskins wasn't that like a weren't they like Warriors? I could be wrong.
I
Weren't
mean,
they like
yeah,
Warriors?
I mean, like it wasn't so like it was never that they were doing it to be disrespectful, because even the fight song, "Hail to the Redskins, Hail Victory,
Mhm,
Braves on the
mhm.
warpath, fight for old DC." Like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
everything was
yeah.
everything was positive and uplifting, but you know, like I could see it. It's kind of one of the things where you like take another word and put it in and see if it hits the same. Like "Hail to the Blacks," like I don't know. Like
I
it
mean, but who's gonna be mad about that for real?
it wouldn't sit well with me though. Like I don't know that I'm gonna be outraged, but like just to like when you
Hail
hear it,
to the Negroes.
you know, like "Hail to the Blacks." I
No,
don't,
we don't
like
like that.
just something. I don't know, something. It hits the ear weird. So like,
I mean, shit. Hail to the Commanders is the ear weird too.
well, it ain't gonna be that. It's they're gonna have to write a whole
Hail
new
to the
song.
Washington football team.
They'll probably get it done by Wale.
Yeah, 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 okay, okay. Well, while they would come up with some hot shit, that shit would be fire. Whatever he comes up with. That is definitely for sure. I don't know, man. I just to me it just feels like much ado about nothing. Much like writing Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matters is a scam and it's fraud, by the way. But writing like much like writing Black Lives Matter on the street in DC, I just like great, cool. So that yeah, that totally ends racism. Yeah, that totally ends our issues that we're having as a black community. That Black Lives Matter painted on DC, painted in DC on the street, that totally helps our, black community issues that we've been touching on the last couple weeks here. You
Well, and
know,
of course,
I don't
with
know,
Black
man.
Lives
I feel
Matter,
I feel better already.
with Black Lives Matter, there's Black Lives Matter, the organization, and Black Lives Matter, the sentiment. And I think a lot of people who share the sentiment don't necessarily bang with the organization, because again, like it's nothing to trademark something and then run with it. And so of course, the misappropriation of funds, or just the like spending of the Black Lives Matter like organization is under scrutiny, and for good reason. Whereas the
Mhm.
sentiment is that like our lives do and should matter.
Hold on, I lost your audio on that last part. Say that one more time.
I was saying the sentiment, that our lives do and should matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the thing is, I don't. All right, but speaking on Black Lives Matter, I don't think anybody really disagrees with the overall premise. Well, okay, I won't say anybody because there's assholes out here in the world that exist,
And
but I don't.
all lives matter is a thing, and it ain't a thing because all lives matter. It's a thing because they're literally trying to say that Black lives don't matter.
I mean, are they trying to say that Black
Yes,
lives don't matter?
yes, yes, and
Are
it's
they trying to say that Black
yes,
lives don't matter?
absolutely, because they're not like, if you believe, like, you don't need all lives matter unless you're like literally trying to combat Black Lives Matter, because all lives matter wasn't a thing before Black Lives Matter. So why did you create that unless you felt a kind of way about Black Lives Matter?
I mean, well, I mean, I feel a kind of way about Black Lives Matter right now.
The
Like not the
sentiment,
statement, not the statement,
the
not the
sentiment,
statement, not the sentiment,
and that's
the
but that's what I'm
organization.
saying. Like, you don't need to make an all lives matter if you understand the sentiment. Like, forget how you feel about the organization. If you understand the sentiment, you don't need an all lives matter. And it's kind of, what the comedian was saying. Like, we don't need an all buildings matter thing. Like, nobody's going into a breast cancer rally like all cancers matter. Like, it's like, this is the issue right now. So we're a group of people attacking this issue. It doesn't stop you from supporting or like pushing your issue. It's this is our issue, so it's what we're dealing with. Ovarian
I guess
cancer.
no, you're right. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I guess I heard someone say I had a conversation with somebody a little while back about Black Lives Matter. And one of the things that they said was that, maybe the slogan should have said Black Lives Matter too. Like Black lives also do matter. And I think some people might have looked at that. I don't know. But some people might have looked at just Black Lives Matter as a overall statement, overall arching statement, and took that to mean that only Black Lives Matter.
But that
And I don't
don't
obviously that's not what's being said.
right, because we also didn't say Black Lives Matter more. And
Right.
that's like, if that's what you're hearing, there's something wrong with you. Because again, to take it to the cancer thing, when we say breast cancer awareness and it has a month, that doesn't mean that lung
All
cancer
cancer
doesn't
does matter
matter,
though.
or ovarian cancer doesn't matter, or like, throat cancer. Like, what I'm saying, like, there are
Well, I
cancers.
guess let me ask this question then. Why is there a breast cancer awareness month and not, any other kind of cancer awareness month?
There are. There
Are
are,
there?
like,
Oh,
literally,
I'm not hip.
there's a day for everything, a month, and pretty much a month for everything. It's about what like, the way that you
Which
attack it.
month is
So
ovarian cancer month?
uh,
I'm seriously asking which month.
I don't know. I would have to look into it. But of course, like, ovarian cancer stands out to me because that's what my mother died from. So
Yeah,
like,
facts. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what I'm saying? So like, but I've never, even though that one, like, ovarian cancer is more pressing to me for that reason, I've never like been mad that breast cancer awareness has a month. I've never been mad that the NFL, NBA, WNBA, or whoever wear pink, for like a certain time, what I'm saying, to deal with, like, even college teams put on pink for breast cancer awareness, and I've never felt like we cared about ovarian cancer less.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess obviously two things can be true, right? Like clearly you can you know clearly you can focus on, well, I won't say focus on one, but you bring awareness to one thing, and then that can bring awareness to everything else, right? Because obviously, if we're talking about breast cancer, we're not isolating specifically breast cancer. It's not like breast cancer is any worse than any other kind of cancer. Cancer sucks, right? Boy,
Right.
it's going down outside, man. Somebody, you got the bikes outside. This is Baltimore, y'all. This we got the
Watch
bikes
your mouth,
outside. They're
Mo.
getting it in.
You was good to the last word. Watch your mouth.
What he said? What?
I said she was good to the last word. Watch your mouth, Mo.
Oh man. You talking about? We got some comments real quick. I'm gonna pull it up in just a second. think I think that we got to get past the virtue signaling on certain things, like when it comes to the names of football teams and sports teams and stuff like that. Um, I think that's a virtue signal. I do think that Black Lives Matter as a slogan is a great slogan, but I do think that just like you said earlier, it doesn't say Black Lives Matter more, or you know, or Black Lives Matter too, right? It doesn't say any of that. It just says in general, Black Lives Matter, which to me personally, as a black man, I agree. I'm black. My black life damn sure matters. Best believe that, right? Um, but I also can see how some people were, could be taken back by that. And then more importantly, and this is probably the biggest problem that I have personally, is that the organization then didn't exactly live up to, what they said they were going to do. We got funds in different places, we can't find them, stuff like that. We can't verify certain things, and I think that's a problem too. What's your thought on that? I won't get too
Well,
deep into that. What's your thought on that?
yeah, no. So I'm 100% agree with you that there's definitely an issue with the way that funds are being allocated. Again, like you as the CEO or founder of, like, you don't need a $6 million home. Like, I don't care what you do. Like, there's no need for a $6 million home. So you can't convince me that you couldn't have been straight in a $500,000 home, and that $5.5 million couldn't have been used for, like, work with politicians, or bail, like, money for, like, unjust arrests, or the hiring of lawyers to defend criminal cases. And, like, we there could have been much better allocation of the funds. So, like, I do understand that. And like you said, two things can be true at once. I also, like, have an issue because I'm sure if we dip into, like, the funds of other organizations, and they have been called into question, that there are other organizations, like, constantly campaigns are being pulled up because money is going to places that it's not necessarily relative to the campaign, or people are hired to be on the campaign that aren't, like, they aren't really working on the campaign. They just got a job on a campaign. So, like, it's not just the Black Lives Matter organization that misuses funds. Doesn't make it okay. I'm just saying it ain't just us. It's not just, like, black organizations that got money issues. Like, white organizations have money issues. Politicians have money issues. Like, they exist everywhere. So, if
You
we're
know,
gonna attack, check everybody's pockets.
facts, man. I don't disagree with that. I guess my question is, I don't think it's so much an issue of black organizations having issues or versus white organizations. I think it's an issue of, from my understanding, from the research I've done, it seems to be more of an issue of misallocated funds, right? Because apparently there are chapters. I mean, I didn't really know this. Apparently there are chapters of BLM, like, kind of all over the country, in, like, different places, different cities, and so on. I wasn't hip. I wasn't aware. But apparently they collect funds and dues, and they send them up to the main office or what have you, and you know what that money's supposed to be going towards the communities, right? The Ferguson community, or Baltimore with Freddie, fill in the blank, Minneapolis, fill in the blank, right? It's supposed to be going more so into our communities, but it's not. And so from what I've seen, that's been more the issue. Funds being misallocated. And then, not to mention, like, what was actually said on their website. Like, their website did actually say that they were a Marxist organization. They wanted to destroy the nuclear family, which, as we all know, is mom, dad, and kids. Um, you know, I think there are some issues. There are some layered issues that people have, black people in particular, that we have with Black Lives Matter, as an organization, not as a slogan, or not as you know a legacy. Like, Black lives do matter. Make sure this is very clear. Black lives do matter, right? Um, Lives, they matter. but I'm not a fan of what seems to be someone else profiting off of our struggle. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, no, I
Let me
get it.
let me get to these comments real quick here. I know you gonna have fun with this one. For the record, and in my opinion, the name is offensive because white men shouldn't continue to profit. That's interesting. White men shouldn't continue to literally profit off the name, modernizing what they've done since the foundation of the nation. Big shout out to the Deadskins. Damn, she hit you with that at the end. That's what you
Yeah,
was talking about,
she was cool till she wasn't.
huh?
You know,
Shorty was 99 and a half. Hezekiah Walker told me 99 and a half won't do.
ain't enough. It just won't do.
She was
But
almost
you know,
there.
yeah. But I mean, I like much like it's kind of how I've always because I'm all for like where college sports are now with the nil payments and all of that. I do not like the idea of like for real anybody profiting off of someone else's name and likeness and all of those kinds of things. So like I think again them being Native Americans, the people who were here when Columbus discovered America, like I don't think that anybody should be profiting off of their you know off of their stuff. So I definitely do understand that sentiment. And it's like I said, it's not just the Native American thing. Like I've been sick for college athletes because like you literally, like the Reggie Bushes of the world, the Tim Tebows of the world, like you made millions and millions of dollars on their back
Millions of dollars.
while just paying for them to eat some crappy meals and lift weights in your weight room. And then got mad at them, for exchanging jerseys for tattoos or like the simplest thing. So like I, don't use my name and likeness. Like I bought the NCAA football games and you knew exactly who it was, but of course they would just list it as number whatever,
Yeah,
but you're still making millions of dollars off their name and their likeness. So, I'm not a fan of it at all. Like if you can profit off of something of using someone else, then they deserve to be the beneficiaries of whatever it is they're doing. So
I
I
agree.
definitely did that part.
I agree. I agree. Especially if you're using their face, their likeness, like literally that person. Like Reggie Bush, USC was a storied organization, but Reggie Bush and I want to say it was Matt Leinart.
Uh huh.
I want to say it was Matt Leinart.
Yep.
They revived that school. They revived that program. Reggie Bush was electric in college. Um, Matt Leinart was I mean, you couldn't stop him in college, right? So they made that organization a lot of money. They gave that school a lot of prominence, and I think it sucks that athletes that are grown ass men, grown ass women, um, aren't allowed to get paid off of their image, likeness, and skill. I don't
Yeah.
think that's right. That's me personally. I don't think that's right. You can't hit me with they should be there to learn. They should be in school just to get educated and all of that. Don't get me
Nah.
wrong. You should get educated. You should learn. And you should get your degree and all of that.
But
But
get to
if
that,
you are making the school millions of dollars,
millions and like tens of hundreds of millions of because them ticket prices when you got a good to great player, your ticket prices
yeah,
go through the roof.
yeah,
And there's only a certain amount allotted for students. Like at our schools every student gets in free. At big name schools there's an allotment for students. So once that allotment is gone, then you got to pay to get in. And they're charging NBA prices at a Duke game, at a North Carolina game, at a what I'm saying, on the basketball side they're charging NBA prices at NFL prices at an LSU and an Alabama. Like you're not, because those are such prominent programs. So like y'all making big money. Stop playing in their faces.
stop playing. Y'all getting paid, man. All right, we off that. We off that. We good to go on that one, bro. We
Yeah,
can
we
let
good.
that one die.
We good. We good.
At least for the time being. We'll bring it back up at another point, I'm sure. With that said, though, I am excited about this. For Up to It, Down to It, we are expanding. We want to help you put your business out there. We want to help you advertise, you create a platform for you, tell your friends to watch you and hear about your business. We want to do that for you because Black lives matter and Black businesses
Like
matter.
businesses matter. Absolutely.
Black businesses absolutely matter. And Kev had the shirt on last week. What'd your shirt say last week, bro?
Black women are dope. Period.
Black women are dope. Period. Period. Right. And so with that said, I am looking forward to this. We have our special guest for the evening coming up. Kev, get your shot ready. All the rest of y'all get your shot glasses ready, or whatever it is you're drinking on. Get your glasses ready. We about to get into it with our special guest for the evening. Let's go.
It sounded like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it. Ooh,
Oh yeah, word.
I like it. I'm
Okay.
so icy. Like that's that's a vibe.
There you go, man. There we go. Can you hear? We got volume. Can you hear?
I'm good.
She's good.
Yeah,
We out here, baby.
you had to put it in her
Listen,
ear. Giggity.
I am privileged.
Giggity.
I am giggity. Aha, she's here. That part. I am privileged. I am honored. And I'm not just saying this because she's my wife, because she's my lady. I'm saying this honestly because she's an incredible Black woman. She is an entrepreneur. She is a mom. She is all the above. And of
A
course, she is
fitness
my
guru.
everything. Mrs. That's right, Mrs. Savannah Welcher. Let me go ahead and pull your shot up real quick. Here you go. This is for you.
Thank you, baby.
In true up to it down to it fashion,
You gotta
we're gonna
be up to
start
it.
this out with the
Gotta
shot.
be up to it. I'm cool.
Salute.
You cool? Scoot up a little bit more, so we can get you in the microphone.
I also wasn't speaking that loudly.
She wasn't talking that loud. She's not trying to wake up the baby.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Be smart. Yeah.
Hey,
I
but
got
we
the
about to get it in right now though. Join us real quick. All hail 6ix9ine.
yeah.
6ix9ine is at the helm.
We on game.
Yeah.
Up to it, down to it. Y'all know what it is. O key do key. You warmed up?
Warmed up and ready.
Ready to go?
Ready to go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's my baby. Long time coming. All right, so Miss Sunflower Essentials. Y'all, listen. I just want to tell y'all straight up, and I'm not making this up. Y'all check your stuff out, right? Check out experiencesunfloweressentials.com. I'm excited because we get to talk to her a little bit about her journey and where she comes from and why Sunflower Essentials is here. And Kev got some questions for you too. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Here we go. So talk to us a little bit about your product and what you do.
Well, Sunflower Essentials is a natural body care business. I make soap.
Come closer to the microphone.
Sorry.
Okay. There we go.
We
live, y'all.
We live.
Yeah,
we live. I make soaps, body butter, scrubs, bath soaks, everything that makes your body feel good while also being very healthy for your body.
That part.
And
That part.
yeah, I feel like this a good time to testify. So like, of course, when she started the business, it was one of them. You just got to support people because they your people. And so, I went in and bought stuff like, but then like once I saw how good it was, I was like, we just gonna keep trying thing after thing after thing. So, like it, started out with the oatmeal soap because my son has eczema. And so, the doctor prescribed steroids. I'm just not a fan of steroids. So I was like, we gotta find another way. So we started using the oatmeal soap, and his eczema was gone. I mean, like that. So still use it to this day. Follow the oatmeal soap up with the body butter. And it keeps the skin, glistening, but it's not too heavy on the skin. So, rubs in nice and light. I even put my barber on to the rose water. So he uses that, with the fresh haircuts and all that. So I picked up the rose water. She had a full beard kit. So I had the, beard balm, beard oil, like all of
The
that,
beard kit works.
good product. It works. Good products. Right now, I'm using the brown sugar scrub for to clean my face. So I've been through like the gambit of her products, and there's not been a disappointment like at all. So it's legitimate. If you follow her Instagram, she like shows you the garden that's in her neighborhood where a lot of the stuff that she's using like it comes from the garden. She works with children in those gardens. Works with the community like in those gardens and all of that. So like it's local. It's handmade. Like the products are legitimate. Her prices are not out of this world. You know what I'm saying? So like you're getting a product that's literally made with love. So yeah, like I'm a customer, I'm a fan, Yeah, I'm not only a client, I'm the player president. Like, yeah, all of those things.
Absolutely, man.
Say really
Yes,
quick,
please, yes.
Kevin, I appreciate you so much. You were one of my very first clients. I was still trying to get my footing under me. I didn't always get it right, and you hung with me. And now that I'm more solid in what I'm doing, you're still supporting me, and I am just so so appreciative. You've put 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people onto my business, and they not only have become clients, but they've become friends. Like, I'd be texting people like, "Hey girl." And I'm just I this is
Yeah,
all
we
I could
don't
do.
we don't we
Big,
don't
big hearts to you, Kevin. Like I appreciate you so much. And thank you for loving my products, and thank you for trusting skin with my products too, because that's hard. There's so many things out there that claim to be safe for baby, the healthiest thing for your baby. And K2 wasn't even a year old. He was under a year, and I'm so thankful that you trusted me with your son's skin with my products. Thank you.
Hey, real quick with that, you started Sunflower Essentials based on something like that, right? So let's real quick, let's talk about your story.
For sure. I started Sunflower Essentials back in 2020 when we were all stuck in the house. I have nothing else better to do. I was searching for something, an answer to our daughter, her skin problems. She had eczema as well. A lot of babies have eczema. A lot of African American babies have eczema.
Eczema.
I almost said asthma. I have asthma. But
Asthma.
asthma. What did that one shot do to me? No, I'm.
Y'all, we only took one shot.
I only took one shot.
Kev.
I just got off a baby D. It's my first shot.
Is what we do on Up to It Down to It.
um, my daughter had eczema. Our daughter had eczema. I'm used to just talking without him sitting next to me, or next to me, next to me.
We're flipped. You good? We're going the right
Man,
way. Going the
okay.
right direction.
I'm not as good as this as Kev and Trey are, so forgive me. Um, the doctor also wanted to prescribe steroids for Amaya. And Kev, like you said, I wasn't cool with that. I went on a research binge. And honestly, she was born in 2018. for about 2 years. I was trying to figure out what to put on her skin. I was buying things from the store. I was trying to make things myself. And it wasn't working. And then I all of a sudden, like, God came down and gave me this magical recipe for body butter. And it worked. Wow, it worked. And ever since, her it cleared up her eczema. She hasn't had eczema since. The doctor wasn't like, "Oh, be careful of these patches here." He hasn't said that. So really, I started it because of my daughter, our daughter.
It's okay. It's all right. One thing we've learned is the kids belong to the women.
That's my
The
baby.
kid, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's really where it started. Our girl. Mhm.
So just real quick, right? So this product or your journey rather started because you were looking for skincare for the baby,
Yep.
skincare for your daughter. You know, the best businesses are started via necessity.
Necessity.
Like
Yep.
by necessity, those are the best businesses that are started. You know, this is a capitalist country, so it's all about supply and demand. So in the end, you found the demand, and there are a lot of babies, grown-ups, kids, teenagers. What the hell do you call 21-year-olds?
Adults.
Young adults, all of that. That legitimately need skincare products, right? This is a place to go to, right? And I'm not saying it because she's my wife. I mean, don't get me wrong, dope, right? I'm not just saying it because of that. I'm saying it because seriously, it works. I'm a dark skinned guy that has a lot of dry skin, and it has worked wonders for me. I've seen it work wonders for our daughter. Again, Kev talked about it with his son who had eczema real crazy too. So again, guys, look, check it out. It is important to have good skincare in your life, man. This is very important. I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, I got a question for you. Oh yeah, it's
Um,
showtime now.
a show
Yeah.
appropriate question.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, word.
Yeah. Keep it classy, man.
Damn. All right, I don't got no more questions. No, I'm playing. All right. Uh, let me ask you this: what hardships have you experienced as a business owner who is also a stay-at-home mom? What challenges have you experienced?
I've experienced a few challenges. One, the biggest one, trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. I made these products for our girl. And then other people, of course, because I have to spill my whole life on Facebook. I'm one of those. So I'm like, I just made this stuff and it's amazing and it works for her skin. And people are like, oh, I need something natural handmade for my so and so skin, for my skin. So I was like, oh, people actually like this or they want to try it. Okay. So then now I had to create a business. I didn't even have a name at first. I was just giving people stuff. And then, so I had to think more. And then I really had to figure out, okay, I'm this. I have to make a business. How do you do that? And honestly, I'm still answering those questions now, 2 years later. So that was my first hardship. My second hardship is finding the time um, with Amaya and our oldest. And as she got older, it was easy to be like, okay, go watch Blue's Clues for a little while. Mommy's going to be in the kitchen. Call me if you need me. But now I'm kind of starting all over with our youngest daughter, and I have no time. She is an amazing baby, but a very needy baby. So a lot of times I have to use my wrap and put her on my front, and I'm whipping body butter in the kitchen with her on my front. But then she gets fussy and then I have to walk away. So that, I think, right now is my biggest challenge, is finding the time to make my products. But I'm very appreciative of my clients, because those that are putting in orders, they understand that I have a new baby and I'm trying to navigate a new schedule. And they're just being really kind and understanding. And I appreciate having a home based business, because even people that I didn't know before Sunflower Essentials, I know them now. I can text them and say, "Hey, so and so, your order is due. I'm working on it." And because and because I've built a rapport with them, they're like, "Girl, it's cool. You just had a baby. I understand. I just need my stuff. So when you get around to making my stuff, I need my stuff." So, yeah, that, even though it's a challenge, it's a huge blessing. And I'm so thankful to say that right now, I know all of my clients and they know me. And yeah.
That's lit.
I think
That's
that
lit.
part's important, because like the argument I hate on social media and in public is, I don't support black businesses because they don't do stuff on time, or they don't blah blah blah
Mhm.
blah, like, but
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they will like put their money into a white business or a non-minority business that doesn't they don't support their own communities. They don't care about the people like buying their products, because again, they don't advertise to us, they don't include us in their advertisements, they don't show us people who look like us wearing their products, so they don't care. And also they make a ton of mistakes too, so like we don't give black businesses the same kind of grace that we give to other people. And those
yeah.
those things drive me up a wall. But like, what Savannah said is the part that matters. Like, I build relationships with my clients, like, and there's a compassion and an understanding that goes along with it. So like,
Yeah.
I think that part's important. And we, in general, people have to have a lot more grace for like small businesses and black businesses, because we like small businesses just don't have the manpower that mass produced companies do. And there's a financial disparity that's been seen in black businesses, in terms of like getting those loans that can take you from being a small like hand operated thing to a mass produced business. If we got the same kind of grants and loans and those things, we could quickly get to the same places. So you know for my people who are like going out of their way to support black businesses, please keep doing it. Even if a black business is bad, find another black business that looks like the one you just tried to support, because there's more than one. Yeah.
Part.
Yeah,
That part.
that part. Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And continue to support black businesses, man. Like there are a lot of good black businesses out there. Like you touched on a great point there, Kev. Just about people's the stigma, I guess, about surrounding black businesses. There we go. Certain things not being done on time, and not being done, up to par, what have you, or what we consider up to par. That is that individual person. That is not indicative of every black business, right? Things happen. Things happen, or business in general. You know, we'd be lying if we said we haven't gone to McDonald's and had to wait 20 minutes for food when it should have been out in a minute and 30 seconds, 90 seconds. McDonald's employees out there, 90 seconds is when you be done. 90 seconds or less. Anyway, but we've all had to wait longer than 90 seconds in order to get that from a place like McDonald's, and yet we still keep going to McDonald's, right? So again, guys, don't give up. Do not give up on black-owned businesses. Continue to support, man. We're only going to get better if you continue to support us, and things like that. So that's a great point there we had. Kev, did you have anything else that you wanted to ask Miss Sunflower here?
So if a person who's trying your products for the first time, is there a place like, is there a product that you would recommend that they start with?
Great question.
If you're trying sunflower essentials for the very first time, I would say the best place to start is the honey and oatmeal soap and a body butter. I make body butter that is unscented, and then I have a plethora, well, maybe not a plethora, but enough scented body butters that you could choose from.
Feels like a
Um,
plethora to me. It feels like a plethora to me.
I actually, on my website, have a bundle called The Beginner, and it is a honey and oatmeal soap and a scented body butter. Because if you wash yourself, you have to moisturize yourself. And I don't recommend washing yourself or moisturizing yourself without washing yourself first.
That's a good idea. Hey, hey, that's a word right there. That's a major key. That's a major key. Don't go sitting here trying to moisturize yourself. And you
Without
ain't
You
washing
cleaned
dirty.
yourself,
yourself. You're
wash.
dirty. You dirty, moist motherfucker.
And actually, Kev, that's where you started. And I think that
Not
is.
at a dirty moist. He didn't start there.
I'm sorry.
He didn't.
You started at the beginner. The beginner bundle. A soap and a butter.
And a butter, yeah.
That's where Kev started. And he was able to see the quality, the true quality of my products. And then he went from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was like? I feel like I had another question. Um, uh, well, so what? I mean, beyond the business, what should people know about you as a person? Because again, like we said, you're interacting directly with the customer. So what should they know about you?
Great question.
Wow, that is a good question. Mm, what should they know about me?
Mm.
I don't
I mean,
know.
I know some things in my opinion, but that's just my opinion.
Well, they should know I'm really nice. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I am really nice, but bigger than that. They should know that I truly care about what I'm doing. If I'm not in a good mood, I won't make product.
This is true. This is true. I
Mhm.
can attest to that.
Because one thing that I have kind of gotten from all of my clients is they say that my products make them feel good. Like they try other scrubs, other body butters, and they work, but when they use my products, somebody said it feels like a warm hug. And I do believe that's the energy that I'm putting into my products. When I'm making products, I have happy music on, I'm dancing.
It's often in Kanto. It's true.
It's often in
Often
Kanto.
it's in Kanto.
I'm not ashamed of that.
Hey, the Encanto soundtrack is lit too, for real. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If y'all haven't had a listen, we don't talk about Bruno. Anyway, um yeah, I don't make product when I'm not in a good mood. Um I do my best, but sometimes I make mistakes, but I will always make up for it. There was a time 3 months ago, 4 months ago, when I had my baby and I forgot to shut down my website. And it just so happened I went into labor a week early. And the day I went to the hospital, I get a notification that says, "You have a new sunflower essentials order." And I said, "Oh no."
Oh
I'm
no.
having a baby. What do I do? So it took me a while to get that order out. But the entire time I was in communication with that client, and that just so happened to be someone that I didn't know prior to Sunflower Essentials.
Mm.
So they were so understanding, so appreciative that I continued to keep in contact. I gave them a timeline the best that I could, and I gave them a discount to come back because I made a boo-boo. So I'm still learning, but I'm doing my best. And that you can last thing I want people to know about me is that I really care about where my ingredients come from.
That's legit.
I
Yeah.
try my best to source my ingredients from black owned businesses, or I grow it myself. My rose water toner, the garden that I garden in, I get the roses from that. The beeswax in my beeswax butter, I have a beehive that I'm learning continuously how to take care of. But I harvest the beeswax, I harvest the honey, and it goes into my products. So all the products that I make, I trust them with my family. Therefore, you can trust them with yours. And forever, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to always make sure I am sourcing my products, my ingredients from the best places while also supporting businesses like me. Yep.
That was beautiful, man.
Thank you.
That
Thank
was
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
That beautiful.
Taking a bow.
Taking
Pat
about
myself
she
on the
does
back.
that
Yeah,
because
I know.
because she's dope. Because black women are dope. Because I found my
Period.
dope black woman. That's right. This one's mine. All right, all you guys, you can hate all you want, as you should, as you should. I won this one. I win this round. All right, yeah, fucking right. All right. Anyway,
And
go ahead, Kev. What you
side,
got, bro?
I was going to just say, side note, she does like awesome Zumba classes and like fitness classes and all of that
Come
stuff.
dance with
So,
me.
you know, sign up for one of
Yeah,
the, we'll see you. Go check her out,
If anyone's free tomorrow morning, the YMCA on Druid Hill Avenue, 1609 Druid Hill Avenue. I'm teaching class. It's pretty.
and she is dope. I mean, again, I'm not making this up. I'm not saying this just because she's my lady and she's my wife. But seriously, if you want to get in shape, you want to have a little bit of fun,
A lot of fun.
you have a lot of bit of fun.
Thank you.
Y'all see what I go through? Y'all see this? Y'all see this? All right, anyway. But yeah, if you want to have some fun and lose weight and tone up and you know, just be in a good area, good place with a good vibe, man, check her out. Mix Fit with Sav.
9:30
9:30
Saturday
a.m.
mornings. Why Druid Hill?
There you go. Wow on Druid Hill. Yeah, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Drew Hill. Kev, you the singer, man. You know, you got, I play drums.
hit that jukebox.
You already know. Good stuff, man. Did you have anything else you wanted to ask her?
It's pretty much, pretty much all I got
It's a
left.
win.
It's all
Yeah.
been said.
It's a win. It's a win. No, we thank you for that. And I want to invite you on to our next segment and get your feedback as well. You know, it's always good. We ain't got all the answers. We say this a lot. We don't have all the answers. We have opinions, but we don't have all the answers. And sometimes it's good for us to get a lady's perspective on some of the things that we talk about. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to have you stick around at least for this next one.
I think I got some
You
time.
think you got time? I bet. Well, hell, you know what time it is, man. If she got time, Kev, I know you got time.
We ain't got nothing but time.
We got nothing but time out here, man. So it is about that time. Let me go ahead and get my get these shots ready, man. What we talking about over here? We talking about over here. You already pulled up. You good
I'm
over there,
empty.
Kev?
Joe, yeah. Listen, I got two bottles sitting here with me, so and you already know what the bar's on. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm be honest with you, man. It feels a little bit different not being all in the same space, man.
also, even though it
For
had just
sure.
been us in the space,
We gotta do that again, man. Y'all stay tuned, man. We're gonna have the
we'll be
the
back.
the the whole team in the same spot again very soon. So, with that said, we have a few things to talk about here. So our first topic, we're gonna talk about. I don't even like saying this, man. Masculine insecurity. I don't even like saying that shit. But let's
But
get ready for these shots, man. We're going to talk about some toxic masculinity as it relates to insecurity. Let's go. Oh, y'all gonna stop acting like that track don't bump. That track bump. That track bump. Call it what it is. You already took yours. Hey, we out here with it. We up to it, down to it. No, don't do it. We do it because we used to it. Drake Mountain. Good.
I'm great.
Feeling good. Feeling great. All right. Toxic masculinity. We hear this subject all the time. As a man, I hear this all the time. But hey, man, look, let's get into it real quick. Kev, this was yours. This came directly from Twitter.
I listen. First of all, Al Gore did not have this in mind when he created the internet. But I was
When he
particularly
invented the internet.
yes, but I was particularly disappointed by this one because, like, dude just missed the mark. So, girl goes out to eat with her dude. You know what I'm saying? They hit the hibachi, which everybody, particularly in the black community, we love hibachi. We're gonna eat the shrimp and
About
steak
his dope.
combination, the chicken and shrimp, the whatever. Like, you get that combination, it's going down. But like a part of the customs of the hibachi are for them to do one of two things, if not both. They're going like toss the shrimp from the spatula, to your mouth, and you're supposed to catch it in your mouth, or they'll also squirt sake from the squirt bottles into your mouth, and you just take it. All right, sake is an alcoholic beverage, so I'm of the impression, which I feel like most sensible men are, if you're squirting alcohol into my girl's mouth, she's gonna be, liquored up, loosened up, you know what I'm saying? And
Ayo.
and it's also not gonna be on our bill because it's a part of their presentation. So we got
Ayo.
free liquor and the
My girl just got drunk for free.
yeah, like what are we talking about? But the dude missed the mark because after the chef squirted the sake in his girl's mouth, he told her to find a ride home. Why are you like this, sir? What have you been through? I'm so very confuzzled because again, everything that took place was to your benefit, and you blew it. You blew it.
You know, you just brought up a good point to your benefit. When I look at that now, this is my baby, okay, all right. But what I'm saying is though, if we went out to the hibachi and she has some sake squirted in her mouth, I know what time it is. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know what time it is. So what is the story here? Did this guy make her walk home? Yeah. So I let the hibachi chef squirt sake in my mouth, and my boyfriend told me to find my own ride home. I can't get down. What you think?
Like
I
what?
think that man needs a boyfriend.
Say it again for the people in the
I
back.
I think That man needs a boyfriend. Yeah, he, like you said, ruined it.
You ruined it.
And it's not even like it's this crazy hunk of a man squirting sake into this woman's mouth. This is a hot, sweaty, been at work for 8 hours chef that is just trying to create a show for maybe an extra tip at the end.
Yeah, that's facts.
He's not invested at all. And honestly, like you said, Trey, I'm getting drunk for free.
Hello? Can we pause and reflect on that real quick? I'm getting my lady drunk for free 99. We know what happens. We know what happens. We about to sit here. Look here. We about to sit here and act like we don't know what time it is. When they they when they drunk,
Bro.
everybody we all win.
And it's I was gonna say because it doesn't just stop at the hibachi. When
Hello?
when when girls get together and go to brunch and come back from the brunch all boozy and just in the mood, like you are the beneficiary
The
of everything,
beneficiary.
and you're insecure about that. Like, no, I'm listen. If you know when I find my lady, if she goes to the bar, let that man buy you drinks because
That's
it's
fine.
we're winning all around. First of all, you're probably outspending my money, so you ain't got to spend my money. Even if you are spending your money, if he's buying the drinks, you ain't got to spend your money,
In her
and
case, it's
he's
totally
still
my
not
money
Had to
taking
being
you.
stay
spent.
home,
He's still
mom.
not taking you home. You coming home to me. So what? Like we're winning all
Bro,
around.
we winning on somebody else's dime.
I'm not about to be insecure about that. Like at the
What?
very base of it, I like I don't know. I may be shallow for this. I don't want a woman that no man looks at. Like, cause
Woo!
what like
Say, can you say that one more time?
I don't want a woman that no man looks at. Like that's you know what I'm saying? Like find my woman attractive because she is. You know what I'm saying? Like so you know if he wants to treat you cool, like just don't like just don't play with me. You know what I'm saying?
Run away with
If
him.
you say
Right.
I got a man and he's like I just want to buy you a drink. All right, cool. Thank you,
Shit, buy
bartender.
the drink.
He said it's on
Spend
him.
your money.
Cool. Spend your money. Stop playing. Save your money. Come home to me.
Hello? Hello? Save my money and
Save
come
my
home
money.
to
Come
me.
home to me. Save your money. Save my money. Come home
Save
to me.
my money and come home to me. This, married life. What can I say? All right.
But like,
Yeah, I don't understand that. In all the times, we went out. I mean, I'm just thinking about that. Like, if we went to hibachi and they were like, here goes some sake. And you was like, whatever that sound is that, girls make nowadays.
I don't know. I don't do it.
I don't anyway. Yeah, like shit. They did that and they, was like, hey, sake. And she was like, or whatever that thing is that y'all women do nowadays and modern women do. I ain't
drive
gonna
the
be
boat.
mad. Why would you be mad about that? And I guess really that's the thing that gets me. Why would you be upset about it to a point where you telling her to find
Find
her
your
own
right.
ride home? I don't get that.
Yeah, I'm legitimately baffled because, like, again, it's to your benefit, and I think it's a poor reflection on the guy, not just from the like insecure side, but the uncultured side. Because if you, like I said at the top, if you understand like those chefs, the way they operate, like hibachi settings, you know what I'm saying, like Japanese culture, like none of these things are new. So like you're not only are you insecure, but you're uncultured. Why woman are you dealing with a man who is like hitting red flags left and right? He don't have no
Right.
experiences. He probably only eats at the carry out. Like that's let's start there. Like y'all went to a hibachi, it was probably your first time. and he only eats it to carry out. So if it ain't chicken wings and fries, he don't understand it because he's uncultured. He's swine, and it just I
You uncultured
Uncultured
swine.
swine. Yes.
Love a good Toy Story reference.
Yes.
Yes.
Shout out to all the old school movies before they all got whack and woke. Um No, man, that's a real talk. I don't understand. I honestly just don't get it. I think that comes from not having a foundation. And over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about, you know, the family dynamic and the community dynamic and stuff like that. And I think a lot of that comes from that. I think a lot of that oversensitivity comes from not having that foundation, I guess, for the lack of a better phrase, not having that foundation in your home, in your household, in your life. And so, you're likely to be sensitive about any old thing that anybody says to you, right?
any old thing,
Go
every
ahead, what
old
you was about to say?
No, I was just saying the smallest threat sets you off because you're not grounded.
Yeah. And out of that, the Bible says to train up a child in the way he should go, right? And when he's older, he won't depart from that, right? I'm a living witness to that. Um, I've definitely had my moments, but I'm pretty well grounded in what I was taught, and I think that's a big problem with a lot of people is that we're not grounded in what we were taught in the first place. And then on top of that, you got you talk about churches and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that have, church hurt, church burned, church, you know, beat up, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's unfortunate because that leads to being insecure in ways like this. That wasn't even a major thing. But this guy, according to this tweet, assuming that this tweet is legit, was completely insecure when it comes to that. And I think not being secure in yourself, not being secure in your family, in your household, all of that bleeds into your relationship because it's hard to describe a color you've never seen before. So if you don't know what function and what right, quote unquote, is supposed to look like, it's gonna be hard for you to replicate that. If that makes sense.
perfect sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what it is with with people like that. I mean, a lot of that, in my honest, a lot of that does come from church. I think, especially for black families. Black families were in the church more than any other family, right? And more than any other community throughout, whether it be slavery or Jim Crow or fill in the blank, first Civil Rights Act, second Civil Rights Act, whatever. We were always good at being in the church, and over time, we developed a lot of church hurt. We developed a lot of church hurt for various reasons. So, with that said, let's get into this next topic here. We're gonna talk about church hurt. We're gonna get into it. You down for this one? You up for this one?
I'm up for this one. I'm invited. I'm
Oh,
up for it.
ooh. So just know the rest of y'all that come on board here, you might be asked to join us for the next topic or two or three. Okay. With that being said, without further ado, let's talk a little bit because this is probably gonna be going on for weeks, but we're gonna talk a little bit about church hurt. Church hurt. I know a lot of y'all can relate. Let's talk about it. Okay. We are out here now. We about to talk about it, man. Kev, if you recall, bro, we mentioned church hurt like when we were in the early stages planning even what we were gonna talk about. Like how we were going to even make this work. You know, church hurt is a big deal. I want to get your feedback real. I know you're well, you can talk a little bit of what you do in the church and stuff like that. I know you grew up in it. I grew up in it. She grew up in it. So let's talk about it, man. Church hurt.
It's it is such a thing. Um, I'm particularly sensitive to this area because I literally don't belong to a church now because of my church hurt. And I
Mhm.
play for churches every Sunday. I mean,
Interesting.
like literally 1 through 5. If a month has 5 Sundays, I'm playing 5 Sundays. Um, and I cannot, like, I've not gotten to the point where I can give my membership back to a church because of church hurt. Uh, to like literally have served. I served a church for 11 years. I transitioned in a new pastor, and once he got in and got comfortable, he fired me with no notice. And all of it was unfounded. And once I like actually found my contract, I was well within my rights to sue the church, and like I had to pray that thing off because like how do you sue a church? But like it literally caused my life to spiral downward, like financially, which was also connected to just like terrible feelings. So like that's that to me is the extreme of it, but because I was an employee of it. But there are people who are just like seeking like a place to be who can't come into the church because the church like is like what I'm saying, castigating them or denigrating them, like more or less judging them for who they are instead of like letting them come in and learn the ways that they're
Mhm.
supposed to go.
Hmm.
So like there's and I say all this to say there's a ton of great things about church. And if you grew up and you understand the word, we're supposed to be, you know, in the church. Even though we are the church, we're supposed to be surrounded with like-minded people.
Yep.
We're supposed to come together for a period and fellowship and praise and worship, and all of those things are important. But we're also supposed to be representations of like Christ in the world, and we miss that mark because we're so high and mighty in the church that like this is a topic that doesn't go away in a day. Like there are so many aspects to it. So like I I understand all sides of it. Like yeah, and it's just it's heavy. It's heavy. Sound.
All right, my bad. We good.
We're back.
We back in this bitch. Want to make sure we didn't interrupt you by accident. No, man, that's a very good point. What? So obviously, you had the thing when you were getting fired, which was, I mean, that's a whole other conversation right there.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that you see though? You said you don't belong to a church, but I know you played at a few different churches or what have you. What are some of the things, or at least at one different church?
Two.
What are some things that you're seeing? Two different churches, okay. What are some things that you're seeing related to church hurt?
Um, I'm seeing people who are trying to discover themselves are not welcome. You know, like people who are
What do you
inside
mean? What do you mean by that exactly?
that, again, if I don't because if you go to a traditional church, there's a look to those people. Like, the women are in or should be, and again I'm putting all this stuff in quotation, so the women
Right.
should be in like relatively loose fitting dresses. They don't wear pants. It's either a skirt or a dress, and it's not fitted as to highlight your physical features. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be modest. The women, they serve, the men, they lead. It's traditional. And then when you break it down by denomination, there's a ton of things that like exist in denominations that is pretty much the reason why denominations exist. So for example, Church of Christ, all of the ones that I've like been to and been through, because I when I was in high school, I dated a girl who was Church of Christ. In the Church of Christ, they don't believe that women are meant to be leaders. So you don't have women pastors. You don't like have women like liturgists. You don't like the only time women lead are for all women's conferences or like, Sunday school. Like that's the extent of their leadership in the church. They didn't believe in instruments. They like there was just it was just a bunch of stuff. And so like that's problematic because like what do you say to a person who offers their worship to God through their instrument? Like why are they not welcome? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like literally let everything that had breath praise the Lord. You have to give breath to a ton of instruments in order to create sound. So like if that's the way that I worship God, like who are you to tell me I'm not like connected to him? I'm not closer to him. That part is wild.
Right,
Meth-
right, right. Yeah, I agree.
in the
I agree.
Methodist church, you know what I'm saying, which is what I am. I've grown up Methodist all my life. We are called Methodist because there's a method to everything that we do. So like the church service has to have order, has to have structure. And I disagree with that because like while or somewhat disagree because while I'll say there's a need for structure because you want to have some order to your service, you the Methodist church rarely leaves room for the move of the Holy Spirit. So like if we need to stay in a section longer, it goes against what we as Methodists believe. So like you're constantly arguing with yourself, like, do I go this way or do we just, in a nutshell, stick to the script? Like we're literally sermons are prepped a year in advance. I think that's the wildest thing ever because like God doesn't. I'm not saying God doesn't speak to you in a year in advance, but God ain't speaking to you in a year in advance. You
Yeah,
know,
probably not a year in advance.
yeah,
Yeah, I
because
agree with that.
something happens this week that needs to be
Yep.
addressed on Sunday,
That
and
needs to be addressed right now.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, that needs to be addressed right now. And I've been in that circumstance. Like I did a seven last words, and I was the like master of ceremonies over the service, so I wasn't supposed to speak. One of the speakers got stuck in traffic and wasn't going to make it, so they asked me to do it literally like 2 minutes before I had to go on. If you telling me God's not showing up in that moment to provide you with what you need because it's pressing, like that's against the Methodist theme. So like there, what I'm saying, like denominations tear us apart, like our own ideologies tear us apart, our inability to let people come in and learn tears their church apart. There's so many things that hurts people, and our belief that it has to be our way or no way at all. The death of the church started when the people who had money and the people who've been there the longest said, "Well, this is how it's always been." And we say this all the time. The definition of insanity is to try to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect different results. We,
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
allow young adults to share their input in church. We don't allow youth, particularly youth, to share their thoughts in church. But the only way the church continues to live and thrive is if you have youth and young adults, because the seasoned people are dying. So when they die, what did you leave behind? But if they're the ones who are like, well, this is my money supporting the church, so I want it to be this way, but that way keeps out your 25 to 40 year olds, and it turns off your, what I'm saying, 10 to 15 year olds, you don't have something to come in behind you and keep the legacy alive. So like church hurt goes be like into so many levels that, like I said, this is we could be here forever.
All right, there we go. We good. Okay. All right, cool. Um, it's funny. It was Savannah was sitting here and just nodding her head just the whole time. Just like,
My
yup,
head's gonna
yup,
fall off.
yup.
Hmm.
Gonna break a doggone neck. What are your thoughts? You got a little bit of feedback on
I agree.
that?
No. But honestly, I agree. I grew up Pentecostal. from 11 to 18, my parents took my sister and I to a Pentecostal church. Um, there were a lot of things that we weren't allowed to do. The cool thing that was about my church, and I always thought it was cool, was that you could wear anything you want. You could come in shorts. There were men that came in straight from their construction job. They had their clothes were dirty. They maybe smelled a little, but it was okay.
Stanky ass church members.
Stanky church members.
Just kidding.
I thought that was cool because God tells you, come the way you are. Then the pastor that I came to the church with retired, and a new head pastor came to lead the church. And from there, he was like, you're not allowed, basically, you're not allowed to wear whatever you want. You had to come in typical church attire. So, especially being a young person who felt liberated, especially coming from a church, well, I was still young because I came to a Pentecostal church at age 11. But before then, I was at they called themselves non-denominational, but they were more reminiscent of a Baptist church.
Mhm.
And you had to wear, loose-fitting clothes, church hats, heels, stockings, all of that. And that was my first experience of God doesn't like me because I can't wear what I want. And also in the Pentecostal church, you're not allowed to dance. And as an African American, that is historically how we praise the Lord. And we had to, as youth, fight the older members and the pastor of the church to allow us to present a liturgical dance during church service. Um, and I remember a lot of us being like, well, God gave me this gift, but I can't show it off in church. As a musician, I used to play my flute in church. When that new pastor took over, he said, oh, you can play, but it has to be a spiritual song, a gospel song. I couldn't go in and play Mozart or, whatever, some classical piece because it wasn't of the Lord. So, one thing that personally really hurt me was the older generations stifling the abilities and talents of the youth. So, yeah, I agree. It's the older people who are dying with their old dying ideals that don't allow the youth and young adults to keep their church going. And since then, their membership, I mean, they're in Jersey, but I still hear their membership has gone way down. And so many people, the youth and young adults that were my age, created a new church that where we can express ourselves and not be judged by the way we decide to serve the Lord.
This is one of those times where I wish Richard was on here for this one. Get better, LB. But this is definitely one of those times where I wish he was on because he and I grew up in the same church. And ours was a non-denominational church. So you both brought up Pentecostal and Methodist, I believe, right?
And Church of Christ, and I heard some Baptists, and
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the things.
All of them. All the
All
denominations.
the things. And so I was fortunate I grew up in a non-denominational church. And one of the things that we taught was, that there is freedom and there is liberty in Christ, right? I think some of these, in my honest opinion, some of these denominations conflate the issue, they conflate the problem, and have people focused on things that are not God, right? That are
Don't
not
matter.
God based, that don't matter, right? That don't have anything to do with what thus saith the Lord. One thing I can say, at my church that I grew up on, there were different methods and styles and so on. But one thing I could say unequivocally is that when we were preaching what thus saith the Lord, our numbers were growing. We preaching what thus saith insert pastor here, what thus saith insert deacon here, what thus saith insert minister of music here, what thus saith insert musician here. When we started talking that kind of crap, the numbers started to dip off. Because in the end, I think that there is power and there is I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but there is power in the word, right? The word says what it says. The Bible says what it says, and it says what it says for a reason. Sometimes it ain't going to make you feel good. That's okay. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to tell you the truth. And I think when we get away from what churches, when they get away from teaching the Bible, teaching what the Bible says, and start teaching their own personal agenda and stuff like that, I think that's where things fall apart. And I witnessed that. I witnessed that at the church I grew up in. I witnessed us. God, man, I swear, I wish Richard was on. I witnessed us go from you know, always preaching what's in the Bible, preaching what's in the Word, to preaching personal agenda and personal feelings, and you know, uh, you shouldn't wear. We had prophecies at first going up that was talking about where God was going to take us, and then we started getting quote unquote prophecies talking about what kind of toys your kids should play with. You know, we started getting prophecies talking about what kind of jeans you should wear at work and that kind of stuff. And that's where I think the problem is when you start preaching personal agenda. The Bible is good enough as is. The word is good enough as is. When you start preaching personal agenda, that I think is where the problem comes in. And then that's where the church hurt, in my opinion, a lot of that comes from. Because you have people who are preaching judgmental doctrine, and we're not supposed to be judgmental. We are supposed to judge righteous judgment. Don't get me wrong. So you are supposed to judge what type of people you should spend your time with, and what type of people you should hang around with, and so on and so forth. That's legitimate, but you aren't supposed to pass judgment on people and say, hey, Kevin, because got on the piano and you played you know some secular song, that means you're going to hell. And I don't
I
that
do.
is what we're not supposed to be doing.
Listen, because secular songs have incredible licks.
Yeah,
So
they do.
I will throw one into a gospel song
Mm.
like it's nothing. Like I think I did Shaggy on Lord I Lift Your Name on High. The Shorty You're My
As
Angel.
you
Like
should.
threw that lick into Lord I Lift Your Name on High. So we're not about to like music is good. It's inherently good. And it brings us together. Like so, like it's the unexpected again, because God is a God who shows up in unexpected ways. I believe that these things fit because they're unexpected. So like if I
Yeah.
can grab your attention, you know what I'm saying, and pull you in an unconventional way, why not? Like God speaks to people. Jesus spoke to people in ways that they could understand. Like,
Yep.
he approached fishermen and said, "Follow me and I'll make you fishers of men." And he didn't have to go into great
Yeah.
detail because they understood exactly what that meant. So like if God is going to meet you at your point of need, why are we casting out the liturgical dancer? Why are we casting out the poet? the you know what I'm saying, the rapper. Like everybody has a place. It's not going to touch everybody because everybody receives stuff differently, you know what I'm saying, accept stuff differently. But we're not,
Yeah.
we shouldn't be denying somebody because there's literally that one person who needs to hear it, you know what I'm saying, via a haiku, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
and it's going to change their life forever. Whereas,
That's
you
a
know what
good
I'm
point.
saying,
Yeah.
80% of us get it in the sermon, but everybody
Yeah.
doesn't get it in the sermon. Somebody gets
Yep.
it in the song, somebody gets it in the prayer, somebody, you know, gets it in the fellowship that exists before and after
Yep.
the service, just to
Yes.
have somebody ask them how they're doing, because Monday through Saturday, nobody checks on their well-being. So like all, like everything that happens in church should have a place.
Yeah. I agree. And I think we shouldn't, be so quick to condemn certain things. I shared this with you guys earlier this week. There was a pastor that the band, the musicians, look, we're all musicians, mainly musicians, musicianly men, right? You and I, Kev, right? Shout out to our sisters here, Sigma Alpha Iota, getting ready to celebrate their Founders Day as well, I believe on Sunday, right?
Yep.
Sunday. So big shout out to my sisters. Shout out to my roses. I love y'all. All right.
Turning out
But
that potpourri was good.
say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Iota.
Shout out. That's what
Turning
it
out in
is.
the potpourri was good.
Yeah. We love turning our roses into potpourri. That's where my babies come from. Anyway. Anyway, let's look at this real quick because this is an example, kind of, Kev, what you were talking about, that in back in the days probably would have stumbled some people. But I just want y'all to listen to this. It's about a minute or so long. It's on Instagram, so we ain't sharing nobody's extra stuff. But y'all take a look at this real quick.
Sound like some old air raid. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Who come to do the work? Oh Lord. We got a clip of that right there. Come and bring the word up. Y'all got your Bible, stand on your feet, get your word in your hand. Oh Lord, keep that pocket right there though. I don't know what to do.
Keep that pocket right there.
Can I see that? If y'all don't mind, y'all turn to Psalm 40. Turn to Psalm 40. We just gonna talk it for a minute here. I'm just gonna read because I feel a pocket anointing in the house. Amen. Psalm 40.
Pocket anointing.
Bible to the middle, and you should be somewhere there. Just in case you didn't know, I sound like Chuck now. Hey, Psalm 40 reads it like this, y'all. Psalm 40, hey, I said it reads like this. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and the mire. He set my feet rock and gave.
All right, so look, right? So listen. We ain't about to sit here and act like bro ain't have a Chuck Brown vibe, because he totally did, and I'm here for all of it.
This is my face the whole time.
Whole time, because the band was going in.
You heard them. The paradiddles on the congos, like just
Yes. As a musician, as both a musician and a drummer, I can appreciate everything that we just heard, from the drum set to the congo, the bongo, everything. I can just appreciate all of that, man. Listen, here's the problem, right? If your church looks at that and frowns your face up, not the grit face, not the not that, but you frown your face up and you mad for real. What's Amaya say? You mad, right?
you big man.
Mad. You big mad, like Daniel Tiger. Big mad. You look at that and you got mad. There's something wrong with you. You are not reaching people. Don't get me wrong.
I didn't grow up in PG County or Baltimore. My first exposure to go-go music was my roommate my freshman year, and
Big
I was
shout
like,
out.
"What the heck is this?" But if I knew what kind of music that was, and I was in that church, and I was like, church, I don't know. The pastor vibing to that go-go beat would have sold me.
Yeah,
I've been like, this is a dope place to be. I need to continue to come.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
because
Like
it
don't
feels
again.
good. Like it feels good.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
and like again, I understand everything about religion and relationship is not it's not sexy. However, if it doesn't feel good, people are not finding their way to it. And I think we miss that point, not just in the church, but period. The reason why gang activity is so high is because people who join gangs want to feel like they belong somewhere, and gangs are willing to accept people. So like if you don't make me feel good first, I'm not going to
Yes.
stay wherever you want me to be. So that
yeah,
like that feeling has to come before anything. Like the
Yep.
reason why my class is the class that students want to be in is because I make them feel good before
Yep.
I care about like the
What
actual
they're
content.
learning.
We're going to build
Yep.
relationships before we get into content. And
Yep.
so, like, the church has to understand that if
Yep.
people don't feel good coming in, if
Yep.
people don't
yeah,
feel good while they're there, if people don't feel good going out, they're not going to stay in that place. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to literally try everything until something works. And even
Yep.
when that works, you're still missing a group of people. So you've got to give them something that they need too.
No.
Like the church, the best churches find a way to be universal.
and I'm with you on that. I think you attract more people that way. You win more souls for the kingdom in that way. Um, what I will say is that I think that the church needs to get back to preaching what's in the Bible too.
Also,
Now don't get me wrong. I think that go go vibe was good to draw you in, but I think once you get in, I think this is why people are really falling out of the church. Once you get in, you still got to be talking about what you're supposed to be doing and not supposed to be doing. Then that's the part that I think people don't like. The Bible and religion, all that's Christianity. It ain't supposed to be sexy. It ain't supposed to be sexy. It is supposed to convict you. It's supposed to make you think. It's supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to. The truth in general does that. So I think it's a combination of two things. I think, yes, you have to meet people where they are, and I think that's an important piece there that a lot of members of the church are missing. You got to meet people where they are, and you can't judge them for where another person is. However, we also got to be able to speak the truth. The Bible says that you should speak truth in love, and I think that we got to still be able to speak the truth to people without them being offended. You know what I mean? I think that people being quickly and easily offended is a big reason for a lot of the church hurt. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the church or pastors or whatever do everything right. That's not what I'm saying. What I know is that there has to be a excuse me, there has to be a point where we have to keep it real. If we're gonna really, do what the Bible says and do what God says and do what His Word says, then we got to be able to keep it a buck and say, "Hey, look, this activity or this behavior or whatever is incorrect because according to the Word, we got to be able to do that and not worry about risking losing membership because somebody else got upset."
yeah,
If that makes
no,
sense.
I know it. I mean, it makes perfect sense. You know, But like I feel like it's like that with everything. So, in a
Yeah.
relationship, if I feel like if you and Savannah's first interactions were you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, like y'all wouldn't have come together because you can't start with chastisement. Like
Yeah.
there needs to be a honeymoon phase before we get into the meat and
Yeah.
potatoes of what it is that we're doing. And so, like, and it's what we've been saying. Like, there has to be something that draws you in. And then, once we got relationship, I can speak to you about what's the most important thing. And I just
Yeah.
keep liking it back to being a teacher. Like, if a kid ain't had no breakfast, no lunch, no dinner the day before they came to your class,
Yep.
and their stomach is growling while you trying to teach. They don't care about what you teaching. They trying to figure out when am I going to get something on my stomach. So like you got to know you got to know how to meet their need before you give them what they need. And both of them are needs. Like we need to be accepted. We need to feel welcome. We need like these are needs. They're not wants, they're needs. But
Yeah.
then once you meet those needs, then we can deal with the other needs. What do you need to make you a better person? What do you need to make you think twice before you do the wrong thing? Like those are needs as well. But I don't think they come before like our human basic needs of like that part.
So I guess my question is, what's the line?
Where's the line?
Where's the line? Honestly, because you do need something to draw people in, but then when do you believe you've built enough trust to start telling people about themselves
Mm.
I
and they say okay and not, why are you judging me, I'm leaving.
Well, and so, in Savannah, you've been a teacher. I
Hmm.
think that looks different. Like I said, it looks different for everybody. So,
Yep.
but of course, if you have that relationship with people, you'll know. It's kind of like I'm not going to propose to
Like
you
that.
if I don't know for certain that you're going to say yes. Like,
Absolutely.
I may feel like I'm ready, but if I don't know you're going to say yes to me proposing to you, I'm not going to. So
Right.
like our
Shout
relationship
out
with
to all the
people,
simp proposals.
you know what I'm saying? Our relationships with people exist in that same way. Like as I'm getting to know you, I do know when we're comfortable enough to say like this is what you've been doing, but I know you can do better. Like because our relationship has reached that point. So like I feel like there are signs that exist that let you know you can come into that space. And it's not perfect, so you may have to like dip a toe before you
Right.
dive in. You know what I'm saying? But like you can take those chances because you first started with just basic relationship things. That's why workshops start with icebreakers because you want to know that
Yeah.
the people I'm in the room with are like we can at least agree on the fact that this set of people likes meat on their pizza and this set of people are veggie lovers. So, now that we've created these small groups, what's
Yeah.
more substantial than that? In the meat group, we care about politics and blah 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 blah. In the veggie group, we care about you know global warming and whatever. Like but you gotta start with something that helps us to reach a common ground. And I think the building of relationships helps us to feel comfortable in pushing you to do better.
Yeah.
I can dig that.
I can't actually disagree with that. That definitely goes a long way in helping to build that trust and build that community and all of that. And those things are important when you're, trying to get a people to do the right thing, to do what we should be doing. And that's
Mhm.
part of where the church hurt comes in, is that you have the thumpers, so to speak, the you should not do, you should not do, you should not do. And then like you said, that can be demoralizing. But At the same time, you still need a space to be able to tell people that this behavior or that behavior is incorrect based on what the word says. I've said this before. If there's nothing higher than human thought process and human reasoning and all of that, if there's nothing higher than that, then right and wrong are subjective, right? They're no longer objective. They're now subjective on how you feel at that point. I'm personally not one that believes that. I believe that there is a higher calling, a higher power, this, that, and the other. I believe, wives submit to their husband as the husband submits to God. So again, there has to be something higher than us that governs us. Because if not, then again, right and wrong is subjective. So I think you guys are both right, that you have to be able to meet people where they are and not judge them for where they've been. At the same time, we got to be able, or people have to be able to instruct and show them the error of their previous ways. Because the thing is, if you accept Christ this Sunday, right? Let's say you go to church this Sunday. I mean, I know you already saved, but let's say you went to church this Sunday and you accepted Christ, right? Next Sunday, you need somebody still to be able to tell you that what you were probably doing the last 7 days was probably not what you should be doing as somebody who's now accepted Christ because of these and that these reasons. I, I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a wrong thing, in my opinion, to tell somebody or to correct somebody and instruct somebody based on what the word
You're not wrong.
to.
You're not wrong. What I will say is, using your example, if
Yeah,
I accept Christ on Sunday, I've walked down an aisle and I've said yes to Christ.
quote
At
unquote.
that
Yeah,
point, somebody, at least for every church I've been in, somebody comes in, like, stands with me, who knows better than I do and who's been here longer than I have. And
like further down the
in that moment, we pray and, like, we confess our sins and do all of the things that are, like, I'll call them ritualistic of the accepting of Christ at that point in time.
Mhm.
But then the church is more obligated than the person. So, like, you're not just about to let me be like, yes, God, and then just leave me alone. No,
I agree.
somebody is calling during that week, well, what did you feel? All right, so this, because and I always give 3 invitations. So there's an invitation to say
Oh,
yes
God.
to Christ. There's an invitation to renew your relationship with Christ. There's an invitation to join the actual church. So if they're joining the church, this is how the church functions. This is who people are in the church that you should know, and they're willing to help you in any capacity. If you're just saying yes to Christ, then we got to go in a number of directions. You said yes here, but this may not be the place for you. So how do we get you connected to a family of believers and go from there? So, like, there are things, like, there are obligations that we as the church have when a person says yes, so that by the time we hit next Sunday, it can be a, well, you got to be better than this. But also, like, if they're accepting and running into me, I'm going to tell them on the Sunday before, when they said yes, listen, tomorrow probably will be worse than today. Like, you're going to feel good right now, but because you said yes to Christ, the enemy is going to show up at your doorstep tomorrow. So, like, I don't want you to run with this feel good church shout thing today, thinking that this is going to be every day of your life. I'm going to let you know tomorrow will probably be harder than today. Tomorrow's probably going to have a decision that you got to make that you never had to make before. It's going to have something that you weren't planning for, and you got to prep for that, because the devil's not happy with what just took place by you saying yes to God. So You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a responsibility, but the biggest responsibility to aid the person who's coming in is for the church to be prepped to be real with them. And that's, like, I think that makes all the difference in the world.
My bad. We had a volume issue here. Can y'all hear me still? Can you hear me
Yeah,
still?
we can hear you. I should have
Okay. All
known.
right. Cool.
I
Cool.
should have
Cool.
known something was up.
No.
The pussy was in the middle of the screen.
That's all good. We're gonna be back on the screen in a second, man. But no, bro, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think that there has to be there has to be a happy medium, so to speak. And I think that's part of the reason why we have so many people that are butthurt from church for real. Um, we have people that kind of refuse to join a church, refuse to go to a church. Excuse me. Refuse to even read the Bible for that matter, right? And all of that is a problem, but all of that is a problem because of things that certain members of the church have created for real.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. You got the judgmental stuff. You got you got the straight up lying in the church, right? You just yeah. You got what you were talking about, getting fired for just because type stuff. You know what I mean? So we've got a big issue. I think we can and should tackle this a little bit more over the next coming weeks and talk a little bit more about it, get some more feedback from the comments, and what things that people have been dealing with when it comes to church hurt. Again, I went to a non-denominational church, right? So I did not have a lot of the challenges or a lot of the problems that a lot of people it's too short. A lot of people face when it comes to that, right? I honestly didn't have a lot of those issues. So hearing some of this stuff that you and Savannah and a few other people have dealt with, it's okay. Let's plug it back in right here. Um, hearing about those things is interesting, and I'd like to definitely like to dive into that some more. See what you guys are. I won't say you guys because it's everybody. We all deal with it. Even though I went to a non-denominational church, there's still some church hurt there for us too. I'm definitely looking forward to getting into this with Richard some more too. But there's some there too because of some of the things that they or different people did with us. The last thing I will say about church hurt though is if people made you not want to go to church anymore. That means, however, that your faith was in people and not in the word.
But one thing I want to add, kind of piggybacking off of what Kev said, I feel like there is a dropping of the ball, so to say, leading new believers through the gates of, okay, it's not pretty, this is going to hurt.
Yeah.
You have to drop the things that you used to do, that you used to know. That's, I feel like people who are already established in church are so eager to get new followers of Christ that they want to skip the part of coddling those that didn't know, that don't know. Are we still on?
We're still on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Those that don't know what to do next. And yeah, I think that's where a lot of the church hurt comes from, because the new people coming in aren't established in their belief, aren't established in their faith, and no one is showing them the right way to go. They want to hurry up and have the baby, but they don't want to go through the pregnancy, you
Mm,
know?
mm.
So I agree. I identify a lot with what Kev said, because even in my church as a young adult, as a you move through different, you get to where there wasn't a lot of that. There was worship. There wasn't a lot of it's okay if you stumble. It's okay if you did this. you can still come and be with us. Yep.
And yeah, and I mean, right on what she said, like the church has to be married. You know, like you're literally carrying a responsibility that you're not responsible for. You know, like you're married, pregnant with the Lord's child. You know, as a virgin, so you're literally responsible now for a life that you didn't even like bank on. And the church has to be the same way. Like you're taking in or should be taking in anything and everybody and cultivating them into something. So you don't know what you're getting into when before you get into it or as you're getting into it, but you have to believe that like God sustains us as the church in the midst of taking in these people who are trying to learn what the church is like. Um, we just the responsibility falls on us. Yes, at the end of whatever day, the people who are coming in have to learn what is right and what is wrong, but there's more responsibility on the person who already knows better. And that's literally like that's life. Like when we talk to our children, if you got more than one kid, like and Trey, you have an older daughter, you would not expect your oldest to do the things that your youngest does, and like more or less gets away with it, because the oldest should know that you don't touch the stove. You know what I'm saying? With the youngest, you got to have that conversation. You don't touch the stove. So like, because we are the church and because we grew up in the church and we read the Bible and we learned to recite all the books, and we had a chance to exegete the text, which is our favorite, like clerical, like when we like to seem more better than we are. We like to exegete the text. Don't drop the SAT vocabulary. Like there's more on us than there is on a person who doesn't know better. You know what I'm saying? What do they say? God watches over babies and fools. Like, because they don't know better, but we do. So it's more on us to be the church. It's more on us to like set the example, not by talking about it, but by being it. And if the person on the outside comes in with an idea that the person who's been there, well, we've always done it this way, so it's going to be this way. You're now showing me that I'm not welcome to share new thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, the responsibility is on us because we led the new person astray. We never gave them a chance. We never opened up to like who they were and what they could do. I think of like Sister Act 2, both of them. Well, particularly Sister Act, like, or was it 2? Oh yeah, because they wanted to shut St. Francis down. And of course, when Mary Clarence changed the music, you started to bring in people from the community, and they were, what I'm saying, or actually it was both movies, but a little different. Once she changed the music up and did a new thing with the community, then you got a better response and it packed the churches out. But if you're not willing to go be in the community and what I'm saying, sing a more secular song with a church rewording, like you got to make it make sense to them, and that's our responsibility because we know better.
Yeah, yeah. I don't disagree with that at all. I think we got to know the kind of climate and the environment that we're in. If we're going to truly win souls for the kingdom. So I think it's a combination of things. I think it's about winning them to get them to show up, but at the same time, that conviction too still needs to be there. I think that we, just Christians in general, let every old thing kind of go, kind of every old thing kind of slide. And I think that's a problem too. So we're gonna get into that some more. We're gonna dig into that some more. We are past our time. We don't want another 3-hour show. It's all Savannah's fault.
Sorry.
It's all her fault. We don't want don't want another 3-hour show. But yeah, man, we definitely got to revisit this. So let's put this in the notes to table this till next week and get some more conversation about this. Real quick, Savannah, it's been a pleasure
An
having you
absolute
on
pleasure.
board. Absolutely.
It was all mine. Thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to be here.
For
Yeah.
sure, man.
Can you stand up?
Thank you for.
Can you like stand up so we can see the shirt full? Like she done froze.
Got y'all.
Okay, okay. Yeah, come on, because it's a sunflower central shirt. Hey, Ricky, thank you for being on. But yes, definitely pull up on her. Experience Sunflower Essentials. The products are dope. Geez, and Ricky, you're gonna have to forgive me. But Ricky, in the comments, put your blog site because Ricky sells dope shirts. My favorite one is sitting in my drawer right now. My parenting skills or style is somewhere between what is it? Like and oh well. I don't know. Like, but it's something along those lines, But I mean, like her shirts are dope. I mean, she's just a dope mom, dope parent who's, teaching. She constantly teaches me, even though she's younger than me. So we're like literally gonna pull all the black businesses in to share this information. So yeah, Savannah, super, super grateful for you. Not just for today, but I've been grateful and I'm gonna be grateful. Because again, there are no words to express like the what your products have literally done in my household. So like that means the world to me. So thank you for being here. She said something, they ain't got no sound. I
Yeah,
don't know why.
go ahead.
Yes. He's trying to censor me, guys. No.
Censorship. Censorship. No, go ahead.
Thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate you. And you said Ricky.
Yeah, Rashada. Yeah, she's
Rashada.
on. What up, Ricky?
Hey, I will. After I get my life together, I would like to expand into like merch. So
Us too. So with that said,
we'll be hitting you up.
we're gonna be hitting you up.
Thank
Hey, listen, Ricky, we talked a little
Kev
bit.
always has the plugs.
We talked a little bit weekend, I believe it was. On Sunday we talked a little bit on Sunday. Great conversation. I would love to have you on. We'll touch base pretty soon to have you on here so you can talk a little bit more about what you do and all of that stuff, man. We listen, Kev. We're privileged, man. We're connected to a lot of dope black people. We're connected to a lot of dope women, a lot of dope men. And yeah, we just need to put them out there, man. Let's put them out there as best as we can. Use this platform as best as we can. Go ahead, bro. What you about to say? What you got?
Oh no, Steph Curry is doing light skin things right now, and
Oh yeah.
the Warriors just went up by 6 with a minute 40 left. He been
So
real
I
light
think
skin.
he was right. They're gonna tie it up 2-2, and then it's gonna be a best of 3 after that. I
That's
think
what I
you were
said.
right.
That's what I
You
said.
did call that earlier today on the show. Yeah. We look, man. Enough of this, man. We about to go find out. Go watch the rest of this game. About to drink down the rest of this alcohol. I'm about to go spend some lovely time with my beautiful, incredible, gorgeous, brilliant wife. Yeah, word. Ricky, I see you. So be on the lookout. We're gonna be shouting out some more businesses, and some more things that try to put y'all on as well, and then just have a great conversation. You have listened to the most organic conversation on the internet. Oh yeah. What you got? What you got for us, Kev?
This is Destination Unknown Candles, and I'm like, listen. So she's in Dubai right now. We were supposed to have her on tonight, but I ain't even mad because she's in Dubai. So I'm just gonna plug her again until we can get her on. This is Destination Unknown Candles, like soy, like they burn forever. So she just sent me a care package. I mean, first of all, I paid for it, but she sent like way more than I anticipated. Bath bombs on top of the candles that I ordered, but like all of the scents are absolutely beautiful. The presentation, the packaging, all of that, absolutely beautiful. So Destination Unknown Candle, DU Candle on Instagrams. Check her out and support that. We're gonna have her on super soon, Nicole. She's like just fantastic. And that's same thing we were talking about with Savannah tonight, like appreciating black business, female-owned businesses, because like there's so much love and care that goes into what they do, and they just go beyond your expectations. So I'm excited to burn these new candles off and actually give some out as gifts as well. But she sent bath bombs as well, and I did like that wasn't even in the order. So like yeah, it's going down.
You had me a bath bomb. I don't make those.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
hitting up destination
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 unknown.
unknown candle company.
Yeah, yeah.
The bath bomb.
I can tell you from last week, when we had the in-person show last Friday. Those of you that checked it out, the candle did smell amazing, and it is going to last for quite some time.
So you're buying the candles?
Damn,
He's buying the candles.
Put on your red dress.
damn.
Slip on them.
Y'all see how they do? Y'all see how they do? They just like that. Now I gotta spend money. But it's all good, man. Listen, I don't mind spending it for a good cause. The candles are dope. I gotta admit.
I'm excited.
They
Going on the
they
website now.
Yeah, we blew the candle out probably at the beginning of the show, and the scent stayed strong throughout the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good, and it was good scents. They weren't overbearing. They were easy on your nose and on your senses and stuff. So yeah, man, Destination Unknown, man, check them out again. Y'all see him right there. Well, hold on, let's get him back up here. Here
You
we go.
did.
There we go. Y'all see him right there on the screen. Check them out if you're into candles. For all your skincare and body care products, please check out Sunflower Essentials. Go experience that. It is dope. Again, I'm not saying it just because it is an experience. I'm not just saying that because she's my wife and because she's sitting right here. She'll tell you. And any of y'all that know me knows that I tell you, if you shit trash, I'm gonna tell you. Um,
He's telling me some stuff I've done is trash, and that's fine because I want to grow.
It's true. It's true. But her stuff that's on that website, man, is phenomenal. It's really good. And again, especially if you are like me and you got dark, dry skin. It can easily turn gray. This is the kind of stuff. Don't judge me. She over to judge me. This is the kind of stuff that you guys are gonna want in your household and in your bedroom. So trust me on that. That's it, man. Kev, you got anything else, bro?
As always, we super appreciate y'all for being here one more time. Q, we hope you enjoying your birthday. Rich, we want you to get better soon, man. We missed you. This show's not the same without y'all, but we hope we held y'all down and made y'all proud. Shout out to everybody who joined us for the show. With your comments, you share the information and all of that stuff. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, pull up on us, and yeah, man, we're grateful.
For sure, and I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm working on getting more content up on the channel. I'm working on it. We still got jobs, still got kids, still got wives, all that kind of stuff. So I'm working on it. But there's more coming. I promise you that. Just stay tuned. Again, hit that like, share, subscribe button, like Kev was just saying, man. More stuff is coming. But that's it, man. That's all we got here for you tonight. Kev, Rich, get better. Sorry, not Kev. Q, Rich, we looking forward to having you on next week. Again, big shout out to Sigma Alpha Iota with their Founders Day coming up on Sunday. Yeah, that's right. Big shout out to my sisters. Y'all show them some love. And one more shout out to my daughter, my oldest, my baby girl. Not so much a baby no more. She turns 16. I can't believe it. She turns 16 tomorrow. I what the hell, man? What can I say? Oh, what can I say? My baby girl is 16. So Serenity, I love you, baby. Happy birthday or happy early birthday. Happy Founders Day again to SAI. Look, man, we out here in these streets. We out here. Come check us out again. Friday nights, 9 o'clock. Like,
The
share,
game is over.
subscribe.
The Warriors up by 7
We out.
with 25 seconds left.
There we go. That's it. Warriors up 2-2. We got a best of 3. So when we come back here next week, we're talking about who the new NBA champions are, among many other things. So that's it, man. It's a wrap. Thanks again for joining us. We out of here, baby. Peace.